Well, if you're seeing this, that means the birds are safe for Thanksgiving weekend. That's right. The Supreme Court has not made their decision as to whether or not universal ostrich farmers will be able to pursue their pursuit to save their healthy flock of ostriches against the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, who is hell-bent on culling them for an avian flu that swept through their herd 10 months ago. But nothing is going down this Thanksgiving weekend. So I wanted to speak with Katie Pasitny, who you probably know by now if you've been following our reports at SaveTheOstriches.com. She's going to let you know on what is going to be happening, the festivities, if you will, during Thanksgiving. And Rebel News will actually be going home to our families during the long weekend since the birds are safe. Here's Katie Pasitny.
Hi everybody, it's Katie with Universal Ostrich Farm. My lives have been harder and harder to do some days because there is just so much going on, but it's good and we're pushing forward. So we are 270 days, happy, healthy ostriches, but 258 days, the ostriches were in our care. And that's when they were the happiest, and that's when they were the healthiest.
Katie, another miracle. The birds are alive.
Yes, they are. And they are eating their hay right now, and they're in the sunshine and happy. And it's 271 days. Animals that are healthy and alive. I always refer back to that Monday, though, when they showed up. And I believe I want to stop it there and say that's when they were the healthiest.
Yep.
You know,
and the happiest.
And the happiest because they had us around them, caring for them, and they weren't being neglected. So, but again, we can just be grateful for the miracle as we enter the weekend that these animals are still alive behind us, and what we're all fighting for is working.
Yeah, suddenly things looked a whole lot better when your veterinarian was scheduled to come on site and look through things. Yeah. All of a sudden they seem to be eating well and things like that. But let's talk about making it to Thanksgiving weekend. Myself and Sheila are going to go home for the long weekend, be with our families and Lyndon, and then come back. But what's going to be happening here on the ground?
Yes, so we have a lot to be thankful for, and that is the unity, the casting away the shadow of division from mainstream media and people who continue to focus on things that just really don't pertain to this cause. And we've talked to the RCMP, and we even said to them that we would love to offer them some Thanksgiving dinners so that they eat warm meals while they're here. This is about bridging the division, and this is about saying we're all human, but we got to recognize where our faults are and where we can stand up and create unity and be powerful. So there's a lot of turkeys. Thank you to whoever has donated turkeys to the farm, for the supporters and for the family to eat a really wonderful Thanksgiving meal this weekend, and resources or other products such as potatoes and gravies and vegetables. So I think there is going to be we are having a good dinner here this weekend. There'll be prayer like we always have, and there's going to be a fantastic conversation as always with a warm fire, but there's a lot to be grateful for, and I think we just have to stay focused on the change that is possible here. You know, these animals are heartbeats. We have to continue to be their voices and call out those people that are actually directly, in conflict with creating the negligence and the inhumane handling of our animals that are our animals.
Well, there you have it. If you're seeing this video, that means the birds are safe for Thanksgiving weekend, because we will not post until the Supreme Court is closed for the long weekend. Any final words?
I think just really reminding the general public and everybody around the world that is watching, this is a much deeper issue, and I keep being reminded of that. I want to say this is about trade politics, but what we're really dealing with here with the antibody research that we've been involved in for the last 4 to 5 years is that we have something substantial, and we have something that goes against the vaccine reliance, the push of that with Big Pharma. We have the World Health Organization that has been leading the charge with the World Animal Health Organization, and we need to really directly, I think, ask these organizations, how can we better protect countries that are involved in taking their directives. So could it be as simple for these animals behind me, pulling them out of poultry, and let's show that we can work together. These animals are not poultry. They offer extreme, advanced scientific advantage in therapeutics with the antibodies that they hold. One ostrich egg is equivalent to 100 chicken eggs worth of antibodies. And there is a natural way to target the viruses and disease in the future, and it stands behind me. So do we contact them maybe and ask them, why can't we just do this? Is there a better way? How do we work together better together as nations? Could we as nations still trade, but maybe offer farms an exemption of, say, 42 days and 2 21-day periods of testing, isolation testing and monitoring, but still be allowed to trade while we are in isolation and until we are testing clear. But again, because the really sad fact about is the animals behind me, the vet had said to our vet that was out there, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, that even if they all test negative, they have to die. So we have to address that problem. So we're dealing with non-elected governing bodies, the World Health Organization and the World Animal Health Organization, giving us directives as a country. So on a federal, provincial, and municipal level, we're really not making the decisions for Canadians, and we need to protect our farms.
And we're dealing with overreach from bureaucrats, because I noticed in the court cases, when convenient, the CFIA points to the international, stamping out policy that's recognized coming from the WHO. But then when you point out that they're superseding that, well, then all of a sudden, no, it's our policy and things like that. So,
and let's on the overstepping the jurisdiction, or the look at the warrants that we received. My aunt and uncle have a property here on this quarantine side. That is their private property, yet they were able to obtain a search warrant on their property that goes till October 22nd. My aunt has arrived. They're allowing her to sleep in her trailer. They've owned this property for 18 years. But they are not allowed to wander around their own yard. They have a garden they need to get their garlic out of. And the RCMP has communicated with the CFIA, listen, this little family just wants to get their garlic out of their garden so that it's harvested and they don't lose years of their
several years
of their work. And the answer is completely no from CFIA. What is wrong from a family wanting to go under, they said even if the RCMP watched them, just pick their garlic. That's all they're asking for. There is such an overreach with no oversight for the CFIA that, again, we're just screaming from the mountaintops for accountability, no more oversight, and for them to have less freedom for making their own rules. And the RCMP should be able to overrule that and say, no, we're going to let this little family pick their garlic. They're doing nothing wrong.
I think the RCMP are really surprised with what they're seeing here, too. I have a full interview with your cousin, Allison, going even in more depth about what's happening to them now that they've returned to what should be their property, but is being held hostage by the CFIA. That will be at SaveTheOstriches.com. I'll be following what's happening from my home, so my husband,
thanks,
proof of life for my husband.
Thank you. And your kids, I know. It's time. This weekend is about family. We got to celebrate family, and we have to be celebrating even what you do for as a journalist and what you're bringing the truth to the screen, and we need more of that. So you can go and celebrate in what you guys do as Rebel.
And the mainstream media is getting so desperate. They're really, I guess, working for the CFIA overtime, it seems, going after you guys. Now they're starting to go after us. They keep trying to interview that Dr. Angela Rasmussen, saying she's impartial. She's working in the vaccine department in the University of Saskatchewan. And if you look, Toronto Star came out, put this garbage piece. They want to make this political. They want to politicize these birds, and they try to say far-right Rebel News. Well, it always backfires when they actually name Rebel News, because now more will see what's really going on here. And thank you guys for always being invested in this story, just like myself here. Thank you, Katie, for the fight on behalf of farmers across the country, and so many different layers of freedom for property, farming, food rights, livelihoods, scientific freedoms.
Science over speculation. Let's go for that again. Discovery over destruction. And you know what? The RCMP have made their statements to us, and I want to thank you for that. They said in all the support groups and protesting that they've ever seen, they've never seen such a kind group that is so focused and dedicated on what they're fighting for, and that's the ostrich's survival. Because we all know where that has a ripple effect to go once these animals are gone. If we can't save them, then what farm is safe in Canada due to a broken policy? But the RCMP said, we're not extremists. I mean, that all the labeling Angela Rasmussen, we're not extremists.
Neither are we.
I'm not a cult leader. Yeah. I mean, no one's going to the train station here, so we're good.
There's no Kool-Aid. There is no Kool-Aid in that tent.
There. No Kool-Aid in that tent.
There is a tea. It's a very delightful tea that's going around with citrusy. But
I thank you, and a happy Thanksgiving to you, Drea, and to your
too.
family.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we love you.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching this. And again, I'm very thankful that the birds are okay and that these farmers are putting in the fight they are on behalf of all Canadians. To see more reports in the background on this and to support the many costs involved for our Rebel News operation to be your eyes and ears here, please donate and go to SaveTheOstriches.com.